Well, hello, my name's Crystalena, and I am a singer songwriter from Ottawa, Ontario. I sing pop soul music. It's kind of like a dark and twisty fusion of those two. I grew up listening to Sade and a lot of Heart, so lots of rock and soul influence there. Can you read it? Wow. Yeah.
Fun. So, are you part of any bands or are you strictly a solo artist?
Um, I'm part of a few projects. One big one that I really, really love to sing and play with. Okay, I'm just wow. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill. I'm really overthinking this. Can we do that again? Okay, what projects? What did you ask?
If you are part of any bands or if you're just a solo artist.
Right. Do you want to see my dog for a second?
Let's show everyone your dog. Let's do it.
Okay. All right, Ellie. Hi. Hi. She's my therapy dog when I get anxious.
Hey,
So
baby girl.
in real life, when we go back to actual like interviews and stuff, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it without my dog. I'm gonna
So
like just
cute.
have her in a purse, or she's pretty big actually. She's like a large dog, a larger dog. This is Ella.
And does Ella have an Instagram account?
She does. Ella the Palm Mix.
I think everyone should follow her.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna post more cute pictures of her.
So
Um,
everyone who's watching this, follow her.
Follow Ella. If that's the only thing you get out of this interview, then it's most likely just follow my dog on Instagram.
Super cute. And does Ella want to talk about the bands and solo project of Crystalena?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, sorry. I'm just like, it's been so long since I've actually talked out loud. Because I mostly just talk to myself in my apartment because I live alone. So, yeah, so I'm part of Black Denim. I'm a singer songwriter, first and foremost, with my solo career, but I'm also part of this sweet hip hop band that we're actually playing at the NAC March 26th of this month. Um, Wait, I don't know when this is gonna get aired, but we're playing at the NAC in March 26th, so who knows? Maybe you'll be able to catch it still.
So is
Um,
that going to be a like a live show or is it going to be streamed?
it's gonna be live streamed, and I think there might be tickets being sold too. So
Cool.
it's all based on what the regulations are gonna be. It's
At
gotten
that time.
postponed like literally 5 times throughout the entire pandemic, so understandably. So we just keep postponing it. So hopefully this time it's gonna happen. And yeah, so about me, I really sidetrack very well, as you can tell. About me, I love to sing. I love to sing, in parks, into microphones, and mostly in 8-piece hip hop bands where we get real dancey and sweaty on stage. And we actually just came out with an album during the pandemic, which was pretty crazy. I, at first, was really scared to do that. Like, I was pretty frightened because we had been working on this album for a good 3 years, 3 or 4 years, and
And it
this
came out when?
it came out in July of 2020. Yeah, so um, it was just pretty crazy to release. I think it was 12 songs, so it was a full length album, and we
Wow.
got some pretty great press for it, and people
Have
really
you
enjoyed
done
it.
any videos or released any singles?
Yeah, so with Black Denim or with
Either or,
me.
like any projects throughout the quarantine in general.
Oh yeah, so um, with Black Denim we released the album but for me I did under my Crystalena project, under my own name, which It, yes, is my real name.
I was gonna get there.
Okay. Because as soon as I said that, I'm like, maybe I should make that clear. Like, 'cause that's just really a little, it's a little foggy with a lot of people. They always ask me, hey, is that your real name? Or,
I think I asked you when I first met you.
yeah, you did. Yeah, yes, you did. And you were like, oh, that's so nice. And I was really flattered because a lot of people just kind of, they might do a little scoff, or they might just, really are into it. But some of them are just like, just Crystalena. Where's the rest?
Well, you never know, because some artists have a stage name and they just give
Yeah,
themselves that name for their acts, and then
yeah,
some have a really cool, unique name, and you're like, oh, cool, you know?
yeah. And I think it's enough too. So I'm like, yeah, it's enough. I like my name, and I'm just gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So for me, I didn't release any singles during the pandemic. I have been working on an album for the past 5 years, and I'm a perfectionist. I am a little bit obsessive compulsive with how much I want to work on every single song. And my producer keeps telling me we can't work on it anymore because it's perfect already. But what I did do is release a live version of one of the songs off the album. So far, with something called Encore Ottawa, which just released with Ottawa Music Industry Coalition. I'm not sure if you saw it yet, but
I may have come across it.
yeah, it was this huge, kind of extravagant, spectacular live stream. I have never been part of such a large, organized live stream like this.
And how was that?
It was crazy. Like, I was I was not only just concerned about COVID, but everybody was just so well mannered and so respectful of each other's space. It was the first time kind of stepping out, other than a previous live stream I did with Marvis, which was very, very small, but the Omic live stream was so big. There was like a full crew, like um, cranes that stood 20 feet in the air, that were gigantic TV screen cranes, just like swirling. And this is for the safety precautions too. Like,
Yeah.
that's why they had this crane, because there couldn't be too many film crew on the set. So
Mm-hmm.
they had just a bunch of high technology cranes and cameras. I was pretty starstruck because I had
Interesting the
never.
way people are finding ways to do things, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty creative. I don't know how they worked all of that. Um, it just seemed like a massive production, and I was super grateful to be a part of it. I had a full band there, a five-piece band, and we all really got to know each other over the course of 3 practices, because COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
We couldn't get together too often, but they really held me down, and I hope that you go watch the live stream when it comes out on March 26th. That's going to be back to back with Horea Band's episode as well. So
Oh, sweet.
yeah, there's,
Yes.
I think, Misha, Mary Chloe, Horea Band, Pony Girl, Sizey, so many other like fabulous Ottawa and Gatineau talent who were in this production.
Wow.
Rogers TV sponsored it. Ontario Creates supported and sponsored
Oh,
it.
this is huge.
It's gigantic.
Wow.
Apartment 613 did a piece on every band that comes out when the band's um, when the band's performance airs. So 16 acts spaced over like the span of 2 months. So every Friday is gonna have like its own special airing of
Wow.
episodes. So it's
Wow.
it's massive. I can't even put it into words.
That's super
um,
cool. So I was actually going to bring up, like, have you done any live streams or live shows? So this is just ties into what you were talking about.
yeah, I kind of just word vomited everything at once.
No, but in general, like, even in the past, like, have you done any live shows or live streams throughout this time, or?
Like, so in the pandemic in general,
Yeah.
through the pandemic, I was super, super, very, very depressed and anxious the entire time. I did not do any live streams by myself. Actually, I did one. I did one at the beginning of the pandemic, and I think you tuned into that too. And then it was a live on Elgin open mic live stream, and it kind of like right after that live stream, I broke down and I had a mental breakdown for, I don't know, I think it lasted a week. It kind of all just hit me, the realization of never seeing people's faces in the crowd again. And
Yeah.
that was my whole joy, is like literally seeing. I read expressions a lot in body language, and I just grew up a lot on, I grew up basically interacting with people as a form of therapy.
Yeah.
I grew up as a single child, so I only had my friends as my family. And when I would interact with people, that's where I found my true happiness. But through the pandemic, it's taught me to rely more on myself. And it's been literally like a shedding of my old self to a new form of mental rehabilitation. No, I said that
Yeah.
wrong. Just um, I feel a lot stronger now. I've gone through a lot of therapy. This went really off topic, but
No,
yeah.
it's actually leading into a question that I want to ask you.
Okay, that's great. That's
Because
good.
through all this time that, I mean, I know the quarantine has been very difficult for many of us, and I know for me it has too, especially at the beginning.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm just curious to know, how have you been keeping yourself busy through this time, if it's not music, but in general?
So, funnily enough, writing, like writing little short poems or little novels, or short stories. Um, I love to sing, so I would still sing um, when I felt capable to, because when you're super sad or just like you can hardly speak some days, it's very hard to sing. But writing has always been so therapeutic. Um, Doing arts and crafts, just like one day I took macaroni, like I went back to grade school and I took macaroni and I literally glued it on cardboard and then I spray painted it.
Okay, that is the best.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
lots of painting,
Do you
lots.
do mandalas or coloring books?
I have tried that, but since it's so restrictive with coloring inside the lines, like it frustrates me.
I could see where it could be frustrating, and I could see where it could be very calming. For me, it's very calming.
That's
It's
fair.
one thing that I spent like the first half of the quarantine. I probably finished 6 or 7 books just because I
Wow.
really needed. Yeah,
6 or 7.
yeah.
I could hardly stay on a page for like, wow.
Now it's taking me more time because of work and all that, keeping me busy. But that was definitely something that helped me a lot when I needed to deal with the anxiety.
I can understand. I can definitely see how mandalas and just those really, really intricate coloring books with the very small symmetry lines. I can see that, how it's very therapeutic just seeing a finished product. And
Yeah. And I can see how it's not therapeutic, so I totally get it.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
whatever floats your boat, right? So
yeah,
we're all so different and so complex, and whatever works for one person doesn't work for another, or might not work for another. That's
yeah,
why everybody has been dealing with this so differently. Like I know some of my friends throughout the pandemic, they would just kind of drop off the planet Earth, if that makes sense.
yeah. That was how I was the first little while.
And it's hard too when you've been so close with your friends, and then they don't talk to you as much anymore. So it's like, uh, it's like, are they okay? Should you check in on them? But
Yeah,
everybody's dealing with this differently, and
you never know.
I've
And
found,
also,
yeah,
at the time when it first started, I was still in school and I was doing a 4 day a week internship, and then I had school on Fridays. So when all of this happened, like when everything shut down, my internship where I was working in the school was closed, so I technically didn't go anymore.
oh,
But then they invited me to do Zoom with them, but they only did an hour a day.
oh,
So it kept me a little busy, but it was again only an hour. So the rest of those days were just like project, but I didn't want to do my project all day, every day.
yeah.
And then I was in school on Fridays and I had my online classes, which kept me busy Fridays.
Hmm.
But the rest of the time was like, oh, you know? And now, I mean, we're still in it, but I have a job and I'm working at the school now. And at least my days are busy. And if our class does get shut down, we still have online classes for 4 or 5 hours now rather than an hour a day. So it's a lot more time consuming. It keeps you busy. So
And Zoom fatigue is real.
it is. But at least I have that thing to keep me busy now. It's not like it was before. So I feel more alive in a way.
I'm really happy to hear that. That's good that you've changed it up, and
So I hope you're finding ways to deal also though. Like,
yeah, my
I
ways
mean,
are a little bit weird. Like I don't know some days what I'm going to encounter.
do you
Like
have another job, like a part-time job?
yeah, I've had like literally 10 different jobs during this pandemic. um thank thank the universe,
Yeah.
because I know a lot of people are very much struggling
Hmm.
so hard to find a proper job. And that's why I've had so many, because a lot of them were just short contracts and independent contracting for the most part, and solo kind of just traveling. Like some days I'd be traveling pretty much 2 hours out of town
Mm.
to work. So thank God I was able to do that, because some people aren't. So
And are you
that's very
currently
good.
working anywhere or?
Yeah, I work at well, Spaceman started back up, which is a music school, private music school that I teach out of. I teach vocals, piano, guitar, and ukulele.
Oh, cool. Wow.
So that's been literally the biggest joy of my life thus far, other than playing music still and writing. Um, Teaching makes me the happiest I've ever been in my life.
Especially that you're teaching something you really like. So,
Yes,
yeah.
and it just makes me feel more confident in my craft, and just seeing half the faces of
Yeah.
the people that
Yeah.
I teach, and it just
Wild.
yeah, not just seeing the faces, seeing half their face.
Yeah.
It's been really nice, and to see my students come back after the pandemic is, like, it makes me feel so solid in our connection, and
Hmm.
makes me feel like, it's worth continuing music during a time like this,
Teaching is
especially.
such a rewarding job. And in a time like this, man, whew.
It's so rewarding. It's so rewarding, and they really value not just what they learn there, but they value your friendship. I don't like to be very strict, because I'm
Yeah.
a very happy-go-lucky person.
Yeah.
Don't see the point for negativity in any kind of classroom.
No.
So there's always a fun way to learn music, and it ends up being more of a therapy session a lot of the time. Just kidding. No, no,
Well, it
there's
makes sense because music is known to be a good therapy for many things.
yeah,
So, and I
yeah,
mean, I work with special needs, so I can see that. I can see that.
yeah, and especially with special needs too. I'm sure you end up being like a second parent to a lot of those kids
How
too.
many times they tell me, "Miss, I love you, Miss, I love you." Like, oh, it's so
No,
sweet. They're so cute. They're teenagers, but not like they're so great. They're
one word, teenagers.
but I find that special needs teenagers are just that much more like I love them. They're great.
Sassy, but they're loving.
They really are. So
I
it's
have
great. It's keeping me busy now, and yeah,
yeah,
teaching is. in general. I feel like everyone who's mentioned teaching,
Oh
especially
yeah,
at a time like this,
yeah.
props to us, girl.
Props to us.
Boom.
Oh.
I actually have one more question for you, and I think I know the answer already. But what is the thing you missed the most since COVID started?
Oh, seeing people's faces.
That's exactly what I
breathing
thought.
breathing their air.
Yeah,
Being close to their face. That sounds really creepy.
good.
Being able to just like whisper in someone's ear, not
Hugs,
romantically. going going to a
hugs.
show and
Yeah, yeah.
mistakenly sneezing on someone.
I
Not
don't think we're gonna want that anymore.
It's so funny because I have such bad allergies. Like I have such bad allergies and I have like such bad asthma, so I cough if like a room temperature changes or if I go from inside to outside. So I'm like sneezing and coughing all the time already. And so
And you're like, no.
I get so self-conscious because I'm like, eh. But
Yeah.
now I don't care as much anymore because I just yell to the other person. I'm like, I have asthma. Don't judge me.
Yeah, I feel you. Hugs
But
too.
yeah,
I'm missing hugs so badly.
okay, that's my. I changed my answer.
No, well, you know what? I've been talking to many people, and the number one answer is people, and the number two answer is hugs. So yeah,
I can see hugs being a number one, just like all over.
yeah.
Hugs actually, if you hold a hug with someone for 20 seconds, it increases your trust in them.
I will need to hug you when I next see you for 20 seconds.
I think we did that when I first saw you. I literally was like, no, we're going to hug for 20 seconds because I do that with everybody I want to have like
Everybody, hug the person, the next person you see for
20.
20 seconds.
Yeah. And not like
Oh,
a fast 20 seconds.
no, like
Where you
drag it
like
out.
give an
Drag it out.
extra hug in there. I love when you like do the initial hug, but then they go in for like an extra
You gotta
squeeze.
go in more. Yeah, yeah.
That is the best. Better than coffee.
I feel it.
Exactly. It's like instant serotonin. When you
That's
do
it.
coffee.
Girl, I've asked you everything I want to ask you. Do you have anything else you want to bring to the table before we end this thing?
Um, well, okay. Hmm. I have so many, like 5,000 things just raced across my brain. I'm like, wow, good job.
We can always save it for another time.
Like this is, yes. Well, I'll save it for another time because now I forget them all anyway. So,
Well, I do thank you for joining. It was great talking.
yes, I'm really glad that we talked, and thank you for having me on. And I do want to say one last thing. All I've got to say is follow my dog's Instagram.
That's right. Well, her Instagram will be
Follow me.
attached to this video link.
Yeah, my Instagram is Crystalena Music. And be on the lookout for Black Denim's live stream show at the NAC, and also be on the lookout for my album this summer.
Will do. Thank
It's
you
called
so much.
Okay,